Recon is taking a piece of equipment that's been out in the fleet, it's been anywhere from 19 years to 7 years, and we're bringing it back to new manufacturing standards. It's going from looking like a used piece of equipment to something that looks brand new. The reason why you want to recon a machine, the customer's already bought the most expensive part of the machine, which was the steel. That's theirs, they already purchased it. We reuse as much of the major components over and replace the necessary stuff. It brings the machine back to life. It makes the machine look new, and they're able to run it to the rental fleet for 7 more years before they decide do they want to trade it, get rid of it, or what have you. Once it leaves a JLG reconditioning facility, it's already ready for its JLG annuals. It can go straight from our facility to the rental fleet anywhere in the world. Once the machinery arrives on site, we do something we call an ME09 inspection. We have a cost estimator that inspects every unit that comes into our facility, because anything outside the standard scope of work that the customer is requiring for recon that's needed to pass a JLG annual, we make sure we write down and communicate it back to our customer and say these are additional things that must be replaced or out of scope, standard scope of work, to be able to pass a JLG annual. Some of the units are extremely rough. Some units don't run. So we see a lot of opportunities once the machines arrive. We just see everything. After that process is done and we do our inspection, it goes to our teardown facility. Teardown facility looks at the ME09 and looks at the additional stuff that needs to be removed and replaced. And then we start our teardown process where we remove our booms, the hoods, and drain all the fluids. As we're removing the booms, we inspect the machine, see if we find any additional issues or opportunities need to be replaced for a customer. The booms go ahead and get disassembled, all cylinders go out for repair. And that could be either rods need re-chromed, all reseals automatically go to a supplier that does all our cylinder rebuilds for us. The engines get washed and get sent out to our engine rebuild customer, whether it's a resealed or rebuild. And then we disassemble the boom sections to make sure the boom sections are good. Every unit gets tagged with a letter. So everything that comes off that unit goes exactly back on the same unit it came off. So we had that traceability and that tracking record for ourselves that our customer sent us a machine, they're getting the same machine they sent us. We're not mixing parts from customer to customer. JLG does not sublet anything. All reconditioning is held within JLG. We do everything inside. The only thing we do send out is our engines and our cylinders. After we're done with that, we finish disassembling the machine, inspect the torque hubs, make sure there ain't any wear and tear, any burnt oil in the torque hubs. And then we rebuild those and reassemble it. It goes into our sand booth. We completely sand it, prep it for core paint. After the core paint, it goes to our assembly line process. And on the reconditioning, we didn't want to reinvent any wheels, so we kind of mock some of the new manufacturing processes and assembly line moves. Station 1 is your turntables, you rebuild your whole front axle, all brand new tires get put on the machine. And it goes to the next station where we start your hose, your turntable, and install your rebuilt motor. After we install the engine, we finish our hosing, we build lower booms, install those upper booms. Something unique about the booms, the only things we reuse on the booms are the sections that came in and the rebuilt cylinders we sent out. Everything else on our booms are brand new. After that, we hang the boom, brand new platforms, brand new upper control box rewired. We do use some of the rewiring inside the components. And then we get the machine hooded and ready for tests. It goes through a full functional test at our facility, and it's going to pass all the tests that new manufacturing has to go through. Got a very well-skilled, tenured team in the aftermarket, period. These team members got to know how to build everything JLG's ever built. And we restore everything back to standard JLG requirements. JLG takes their quality and their pride above and beyond anybody. So when we do a recon, it's the same as new manufacturing. And something unique about reconditioning too is you also get it with a warranty. When we're done with the machine, it looks wonderful and goes back together great. But use a 10-foot rule, maybe even a 5-foot rule. Put a new machine beside an aftermarket machine and tell me which one's good. That's how much assurance and pride that I have in the equipment that people build. JLG builds some of the greatest products in the world. But it just shows you these people in the aftermarket are just not slapping it back together. They're putting it together the way it's supposed to be, the right way, the only way, the JLG way.